There are people who smile in the morning, make coffee, answer their phones, and talk to others, but deep down, they're falling apart. No one sees it, and no one thinks it's real. Other people lean on them because they seem calm, strong, and able. They are breaking, though. Not all at once. Not in a way that stands out. It's more like a slow, quiet falling apart, a kind of erosion that goes on behind closed doors. You know what I mean, right? Something feels off about you, like your life is still going on, but you're not really a part of it. You laugh at the right times, tell people you're fine when they ask, and keep being there for them. Even though it's quiet at night, there's this pain that comes up in the silence. It's not sharp or exciting. Just empty. And you can't remember where you last felt whole. It's like something important is missing. It's not even the pain that's hard. It's that it can't be seen. The way no one sees it. A lot of people tell you how strong you are, and you nod because it's easier to say that than to say, "Well, I'm just really good at hiding." When no one knows you're bleeding, you start to doubt whether you can ever get better. Even worse, when you don't know how to explain the wound yourself. Maybe it's not being alone that hurts the most, not being seen. It feels like a part of who you are when you carry something so heavy and steady. You can feel this pain in your skin like it's been there all along. But what if? But what if the pain you're feeling isn't really a sign of weakness? What if something else starts where the breaking did? You haven't been told how to look for it yet. Some types of hopelessness don't scream, they just wait. On the surface of daily life, it shows up as emptiness, tiredness for no reason, and the quiet thought that maybe this doesn't matter anymore. Not the lack of things, but the lack of purpose. This was what Viktor Frankl called psychological dissatisfaction. A soul's hunger is not for fun or success, but for a reason to live. When we don't get what we want, we start to feel lost in our own lives. The habits haven't changed, but the soul has become quiet. When you act normally, you might not feel this pain. It's not about being weak. It's about how heavy it is to carry around things we don't understand. But Frankl saw something that most people don't. He said that we still have one freedom left, the freedom to choose how to react, even if our freedoms, safety, and security are taken away. It's not naturally or mentally, but spiritually. We can choose who we are, even if the world doesn't give us a reason to be anything. It wasn't meant to be a phrase. He meant it as a quiet way to rebel inside. He meant for it to be a holy act of resistance, and a warning that even when we are going through the worst pain, we can still find meaning in our lives. Picture a man who has lost everything, his job, his wife, and his home. He now wakes up in a small, empty hired room. To get away from the feeling that his life has lost its center, he stares at the wall for weeks while doing other things. But one morning, as the blinds open and light comes in, he hears a question. What if this breaking isn't the end, but the making space? This moment, which is quiet and hard to see, is the start of adjustment. It's not a fix or an answer, but a move towards something more meaningful than security. Frankl named this the will to meaning, which is the deep human need to know what our pain is trying to tell us. And he thought that hopelessness, if you paid close attention, wasn't the end, but a sign. A holy voice that asks, "What will you live for now?" If these words help you name something inside you that has been quiet, you're not the only one who feels this way. Join our group by listening to this channel. Let's keep going down this road together, slowly and with purpose. A woman stands in her kitchen and washes one dish with shaking hands. There is too much heat in the water, but she doesn't change it. Behind her, the radio is buzzing, but she's not paying attention. It's not like she's been here for days. 6 months ago, her husband left. When she told her friends, "I just need space," they stopped calling. And the quiet felt safer than the questions for a while. It's just another day, but today, something opens. "I'm still here," is the only thought that comes to mind on its own. Not going to win. Not better. But here. Still alive. And if she's still living, this pain has to go on. It has to be a path. There are times when the silence is loud and times when it is quiet. One kind of loneliness makes you feel alone, while another kind brings you back to yourself. And there's a type of submission that doesn't mean giving up, but finally letting go of something that was never yours to carry by yourself. What if getting better doesn't look like being strong, but like being soft? What if the most courageous thing you can do is just be yourself? Not perfect or ready, just real? You don't have to say what hurts you inside. But what would happen if you said it out loud, even to yourself for a second? Suppose you stopped pretending to be okay and just said, "I miss myself." How would that feel? "I want to go home." Might also be true. This is the image. It doesn't show what other people think of you. It proves what your heart has always known: your wounds are not embarrassing. There is still light that dares to come in. If this made you feel something you haven't talked about in a long time, it would be an honor to hear your story. Write something below. Let your heart speak. I promise it won't come back empty. At times, nothing around you changes, but something inside you does. It's not a strong change, it's more like a door quietly opening in a room you forgot was there. As you go through it, you don't have any answers or confidence. All you know is that something inside you has eased. Not because the pain is gone, but because it was finally seen. That might have been exactly what you needed. There wasn't a way out, or another voice telling you to be strong. There was just a moment when your silence didn't feel so lonely. At that moment, your pain, no matter how deep or hidden it was, wasn't expected to go away or make sense. It was just allowed to be. You've been through a lot without anyone knowing. Even though it was quiet at night and your thoughts were heavy, and even though you tried hard in the morning to be useful, stable, and unshaken, something inside you held on. It wasn't because it was easy. It was because there was a part of you that wouldn't go away, even when the rest of you wanted to. This kind of respect isn't loud or brave, it's holy. The kind of honor that doesn't need to be praised because it knows that just being alive is holy. And maybe getting better isn't about leaving this place, but about learning to sit in it, with kindness, by being there, and with the quiet belief that something important is happening right now. You don't have to name it yet. You don't have to say where this is going. In the event that something weak, old, or honest moved inside you, you should let it stay. Allow it to stretch. Let it stay without having to show why it's important. Because the way you feel right now is not weakness or failure. It's being living. Slowly coming back is something that was buried: your voice, your sadness, your hunger, and your soul. They are all saying the same thing: you are still here. And this load is not meant to be yours to carry by yourself. So let this moment last a little longer. Let the silence wrap around you, not as an end but as a beginning that only wants you to stay open. It didn't take any work or repair. All it took was a soft memory that you were never forgotten, even when there was silence. If these words made you feel less alone, if they spoke to a quiet part of you, the movie can be seen as a small way to show appreciation, and it might help someone else find their own silence. You can't learn anything from this. Anyone can feel that something old has been named, and that calling it didn't require them to change anything about them, they just had to listen. It's enough from you. You're good enough. Additionally, the road is still yours to follow, even if you don't fully understand it. Thanks for seeing. Sign up for this page to become a part of our group. Until the next show,